Shabbat Shalom, Kal Halal, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, Bahashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of the GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us his truth. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, the Akhwat that are listening and learning, being a pillar of rest, 144,000, the one-third, the hopeful elect of Israel. I'm the brother Yashawan, back with the World War III Daily Update. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to you all. Okay, we're going to start here at Joel 2 and 5. And I believe, okay, so this is talking about missiles, but I believe that drones can be included in this, all right? Like Joel 2 and 5, like the noise of chariots on top of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Do you know what a predator drone is? A predator drone is an airplane that fires missiles, right, without a pilot, okay? It fires missiles. So they're included in this, all right? Jump down to 7. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. They shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. Okay? So when you extend those missiles to drones, right? A drone would be a delivery system for the missile, yeah, to get in closer and then fire the missile. Now it makes more sense, doesn't it? I mean, it made sense before, but let's get this real quick. Predator drone, right? Predator drone. Let's look at some different pictures. Let's see what they look like. Okay? When you say predator, right, that means that there's a weapon system on it, not just a drone, not just a little, see this? You got to show a nigga. No, that ain't talking you. Well, what's this missile doing? Ain't talking about that out. Is that a missile on the drone? Okay. That's like the silo, right? Where did the missile come from? Right? The bow of steel, right? Look at this. So we're not gonna, this was going on in my previous video, but as you can see, these drones, predator drone, why do they call it a predator drone? Because it's carrying weapons, missiles, okay? That's why they call it a predator drone. Let's get the definition here. See what they say it is. What do you say it is? Right here. Predator. The predator gives little warning of attack because it is relatively quiet, and so on. It won't even say what a predator drone is. Unmanned aerial vehicles, UAV. Wow. Let's do this. It's still not answering my question. What is a predator drone? Predator is a long-endurance, medium-altitude, unmanned aircraft system for surveillance and recon missions. Let me see. It's not really saying what it is it? Your dictionary. An unmanned military aerial vehicle. Okay, so yeah. Predator drone. If it was just a drone, okay. But Predator means something different. And they don't want to tell you what it is. Killer drones. All right. Anyway, it's carrying a missile. All right. And what that missile can't do, missile usually has limited, let's say, steerability. Okay. But if you put that missile on a helicopter, on a plane, you understand? Then you can get that missile into position before you fire it. All right, back to Joel. All right, and now these things, right? How do they leap? How do they climb the wall like men of war? Well, if that thing is on a drone, if that missile is on a drone, okay, then it's a different story, is the point that I'm attempting to make here. Anyway, so this is 16 hours ago, Canadian prepper. Your boy Nate has got a little pudge there. Alert, massive strike in Moscow, very likely. U.S. military takes over Starlink, and this is, so apparently your boy Elon gave control of the Starlink to who? The U.S. military, which changes everything. And this guy is scared, right? No, gonna let him give the update. Take it away, Nate. Let's lock it. This thing is straight tripping.
All right, so this is an emergency alert.
Nate is
in the coming days and weeks ahead, we are very likely going to witness the largest ever coordinated drone strike deep inside of Russia that we've ever seen so far in the war. Is this going to be nuclear bases? Is this going to be nuclear power plants? Is it going to be military facilities, airports, monuments? But something big is coming. For the following reason, Elon Musk has effectively relinquished control of Starlink to the U.S. military-industrial complex. That same service that Elon was concerned would trigger nuclear Armageddon a year ago is now fully in the hands of the U.S. military, and effectively then in the hands of the Ukrainian military, to target wherever they please. Apparently, and I don't know all the technicals behind this, apparently it allows guidance systems to navigate deep inside of Russian territory at will, at the flick of a switch. Right now, Starlink is not operational in Russian territory. They're not allowed to utilize it in Russian territory. And this is something to do with the U.S. government, okay? And this is why Elon said, if the U.S. government asked me for permission, I would have probably said yes. But because Ukraine asked me, and because they're not the ones in charge, I said no. Now, apparently, he was very eager to step away from the service after refusing to help Kiev attack a Russian naval fleet in Crimea over concerns of nuclear Armageddon. So perhaps he just trusts in the decision-making capabilities of the U.S. military even more. But we know that the U.S. government has on numerous occasions stated that they don't care anymore. They were at one.
So this is acting a damn fool. Let me see if I can recover it in some fashion.
Weapons insert.
This is my dad, Chuck Norris.
Slovakia. My internet is tripping. See how it does.
Happens in certain parts of Russia, including what the Russians view as Russia, Crimea. But now, apparently, the gloves are off. And Anthony Blinken came out the other day and said, we don't really care. It's up to Ukraine how they use the tools that we provide them. Effectively green-lighting attacks deep inside of Russian territory. My friends, the ultimate result of this is going to be, if the capability is true, again, I don't know the extent. Is it overhyped in terms of Starlink's capability to help the guidance systems of these drones that can now go 700-800 kilometers deep all the way up to St. Petersburg from Ukraine? Is it going to be that much of a force multiplier and a game changer? If it is, then we are going to see a massive drone attack, and we're going to see it relatively quickly. It could be happening as I'm making this video. Because if you believe what the pro-Russian analysts are saying, then Ukraine is on the back foot. Now, again, if you believe what the Ukrainians are saying, then you believe Russia's on the back foot. But if Ukraine is on the back foot, they have no choice but to do some sort of provocation like this, something to save face, some Pyrrhic victory to take attention away from the failed counteroffensive going into fall. And it's going to be a long, cold winter in Ukraine. I'm concerned that the Russians are going to have no choice but to respond to this attack that will likely utilize Starlink, that will be turned on intermittently over Russia as Ukraine deems fit to coordinate their attacks. They're going to start trying to shut down Starlink. The problem is there are thousands of these low Earth orbit satellites, and I'm presuming that right now the Russians don't have a cost-effective, emphasis on cost-effective way on shooting these satellites down. Each Starlink satellite, I'm not sure how much it's worth, but it can't be that much. And it's probably worth, a lot, but in terms of how much satellites typically are worth, because there are tens of thousands of them, as far as I know, or at least that's the goal. Is Russia going to have a way of dealing with these things kinetically? Are they going to deal with it in cyberspace? Are they going to deal with it by hacking them, cyber attack? Are they going to use some kind of electronic warfare? Are they going to use laser weapons? And that's, it's possible. They'd have to probably do it from a plane or something like that, because the laser, the energy required, you can't probably do it from the ground. At least as far as we know anyways. So they're going to have to respond. And how they respond will dictate how this thing escalates. But if I was a betting man, which I am to some extent, which is why I'm a prepper, but you don't even have to, it's not a gamble right now that shit hits going to hit the fan. I mean, the odds are on shit hits the fan. And if people aren't placing their bets appropriately, then that's on you at this point. If I'm a betting man, I think that they're going to have no choice but to start neutralizing these things. Now that Starlink and that capability has been absorbed by the U.S. military, so to speak, how is that going to be adjudicated in an international court of law, if there is one, is anybody's best guess. I mean, is it going to be an act of war? I don't know. Maybe somebody who knows stuff about that can let us know in the comment section below what the course of events would be if Russia shot down satellite, because I think we're getting close to that point. I mean, Elon tries to be buddy-buddy with the Russians on Twitter by allowing Medvedev to voice his opinions on there, but eventually the Russians are going to start getting very cautious of that as well. And I think they're going to start to wash their hands of anything that Elon is currently involved with, possibly even the Chinese and Tesla's operations there. Because understand that if Elon relinquished control of Starlink, Elon, I ask you, and I suspect that maybe, just maybe Elon has come across one of my videos. I mean, we got what, like 300 million views or something like that? Maybe one of those views one day he came across. Maybe by a stroke of luck he'll be watching this one. What's going to happen, Elon, when they say, we want control of Twitter because it's a national security threat? What's going to happen, Elon, when they say, we want control of Tesla because that AI autonomous vision system that you're creating with your dojo and all that. Yeah, we want to integrate that into our military vehicles, and you're going to comply. You know, they bring them in the back room with the shadowy figures, and probably wouldn't take too long for that canary to sing. What's going to happen when SpaceX wants full military integration? The Boring Company. The Boring Company is a tunneling company. The whole idea of the Boring Company is that you can't build more roads, but you can build more tunnels. Well, are they going to use this tunneling technology to help the government build deep underground military bases for military purposes? Are they doing it already? Is the question. I'll say this, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Elon Musk is the world's biggest prepper. And I've extolled praise upon him in the past for this very thing. In fact, I've done dedicated videos on how Starlink, power walls, Tesla power walls, solar roofs, electric vehicles are the ultimate preparedness vehicle. If you have the renewable power source to power it, there's almost virtually no maintenance required. Okay, you don't have to change the brakes, you don't have to change any fluids. It's a much simpler design than a combustion engine. It's a perfect prepping vehicle, and it'll even self-drive, so you can ride shotgun of your own vehicle, and it's going to drive you through Bartertown, and so that you can focus on other things.
It's a tank.
Like shooting marauders, right? We're trying to steal your stuff. I mean, the list goes on. Neuralink. This guy was a pioneer in PayPal, OpenAI, pretty much every domain of the concrete matrix that we find ourselves in. Elon Musk has had a hand in. He's been at the forefront of almost every possible thing. The question is, when the government comes knocking, is Elon Musk going to start talking? Twitter should be a big concern. Back in communist China in the 60s, I believe, what was it called? The Summer of Flowers campaign or something like that. Chairman Mao decided, you know what? We want to encourage everybody to speak their mind. We want to make people feel free enough to speak their mind, so that 1 year later we can come and crack the hell down and take out anybody who was a dissenting voice when they thought they had the freedom to do so. Is that what Twitter is? Is this whole Tony Stark thing just being a utility towards the end of the draconian future that awaits, and Elon Musk is just being used? Because I genuinely think, based on Elon's body language and I genuinely think he's an authentic guy. Okay, you know, I truly think that he's a person with an entrepreneurial vision. I don't think, not necessarily a genius in a different way. Many people mistakenly presume that he's 3 years ago.
It's a lot. So he's going way into Elon, but apparently Elon's part of the war.
They presume that he's at the forefront of these discoveries, but no, he's great at getting people to work together and working from a first principles approach on every project that he endeavors in. That's why he's a genius. He has a vision, okay, and then he can bring people together who are smart and smarter than him in many cases to build this vision. But is that just going to be used by the powers that be, whoever they might be?
We'll stop it right there. So, as you can see, things are escalating. And we'll just leave it at that. All right, it's Friday. Whatever that means anymore. And we'll ease our way out the old-fashioned way by saying nothing's going to stop World War III from coming. Revelation 11:14, the second woe is past. Speaking of World War II. And behold, the third woe, which hasn't happened yet, cometh quickly. So with that, we hope that the elect are edified, you brothers and few sisters. With that, we're going to say Shabbat Shalom.